Oh. All right. You might just get paper and just write down. You don't have to draw the pictures, but write down the math and the numbers. Yeah, you just use paper. Yeah. Hi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. I need a calculator. All right. Okay. Good morning. We are today learning about the angle addition postulate, which very much like the segment addition postulate, in its most simple form. What do you think the angle addition postulate is? So the segment addition postulate, I had a segment AB and maybe point C was on it. What did the segment addition postulate say? Yeah, AC little part plus CB little part equals AB, the whole thing. Little part plus little part equals the whole thing. Or baby plus baby equals the whole thing. So what do you suppose the angle addition postulate is? And just no letters, just words. Yeah, little angle plus little angle equals the whole angle. That's all it is. All right, little angle plus little angle equals the whole thing. So D is on the interior of angle ABC. Interior means if your angle opens up, it's whatever that, when you sweep out the angle, that would be called the interior of the angle. Okay, so anywhere in between the sides of our angle would be the interior. And so D is on the interior of angle ABC. Then, let me see how she wrote it. Here we go. Angle ABD. So angle ABD is right here. Angle ABD. I'm going to write the measure of angle ABD plus the measure of what angle? What other angle? DBC? Yeah, absolutely. Angle DBC. So that's this little guy here. So DBC, pink angle, equals what? Equals the measure of angle ABC, the whole thing. All right, so we have a little angle plus a little angle equals the whole angle, the big giant angle. All right, so that's pretty easy. So here we have example 1 here. The measure, we're going to use this diagram here. If the measure of angle ABD is 48, so I'm going to write that in there, 48 degrees right there. And DBC, the measure of angle DBC is 78. Well, DBC is right here, and it has a measure of 78 degrees. So what's the measure of angle ABC? Yeah, how'd you get 126? You just added them together. Yeah, sure. Little 48 plus the 78 equals the whole 126 degrees. So we have little piece plus little piece equals the big angle. So let's skip down and go to, let's do number 4. Let's skip down and do number 4. All right, so again, use, you have a paper assignment today. And the reason I wanted to do that is because that's going to allow you to mark your angles on your picture. So the picture is there for you, so it makes it pretty nice. And so on number 4, we want to carefully mark the measure of angle DEF is 7x plus 4. So on my picture, DEF, oh, that's the whole angle. So that's the whole angle. I'm not going to mark that one yet. But it's nice to know that DEF is the entire angle. And then, let's see, DEG, the measure of angle DEG. So that's this little guy right here. DEG is 5x plus 1. So I'm going to write that in there. 5x plus 1 degrees. And so that little guy is right there. And then GEF, angle GEF is right here. This little teeny tiny one. He is a little baby 23 degrees. So I have a little arrow there pointing to 23 degrees. All right, so how am I going to set up my equation to find each measure? What could I write? Plus 23 equals, very good, 7x plus 4. Little piece plus little piece equals the whole thing. Does that make sense to you for the setup? This was really hard last year for students, just realizing they had to write an equation. Like you've got to write an equation, solve, and then you can answer the questions. Okay, so here's our equation. Little piece plus little piece equals the whole thing. And we can go ahead and clean up a little bit. I have a 5x, 1 plus 23 is 24, equals 7x plus 4. And then how do you want to solve from there? Minus 7x. Yeah, we can subtract 7x. Thanks for raising your hand, Cassius. I'm rarely that kind of teacher. 5x's minus 7x's is negative 2x's plus 24 equals 4. And then we need 2. Minus 24, minus 24. So I get negative 2x equals negative 22. And divide by negative 2. So we get x equals 11. And there it is. X equals 11. So now we solved for x, which again, we had a fill in the blank here. So that's kind of nice. She lets you know what we're supposed to answer. How do I find DEG? Yeah, plug it back in. DEG is right here. So right there, I've got to plug in my 11. Yeah.
Oh, it equals 4 minus equals negative 24.
Oh, like it sure would. Yeah, thanks, guys. Hey, good call. All right, 20. So 10 would be a better answer than yeah? Yeah? Oh, good call, you guys. All right. So 10. So now that makes that even easier. So I want to plug 10 in place of x. That'll give me 5 times 10 plus 1, which is 51. So I can just go ahead and write 51 degrees now. You'll notice it has the degree symbol on the outside here. So we get that when we plug in a number for x, we can see how many degrees that angle should be. X is not a measure of how big the angle is. It's just the value of x. Okay, so it's really important that you understand the distinction there. So this is 51 degrees. All right, and then DEF. How do we figure out DEF? Yeah, right here. DEF is 7x plus 4. So we got to pop in that x value right there. So the measure of angle DEF is going to be 7 times our 10 plus 4 degrees, which is pretty easy to do. And what do you get? 74 degrees. Okay. Questions on that one? All right, cool. Let's see. Let's turn the page. Because I just don't find that we need to do every single problem, right? Yeah, I think it goes okay. All right, let's look at number 6. Number 6 is a good one. It says if angle DEF is a straight angle. What are they telling us if it's a straight angle? 180 degrees. Very, very good. Remember, we talked about this yesterday. If I have an angle with a box in it, how many degrees is it? 90 degrees. And of course, if you've got a box on one side, then it must be a box on the other side as well. So we have right angles or perpendicular lines there. And of course, then if you see we have piece plus piece, the whole thing would be 180 degrees. And so it's really important. I love that you guys figured that out yesterday. That was great. Okay. So DEF, we know, has 180 degrees. That whole angle forms a straight line, so 180 degrees. Then it says DEG is 23x minus 3. So DEG is right here, 23x minus 3. So I'm going to go ahead and label that in my picture. And then GEF is 12x plus 8. 12x plus 8 for this little angle right there. Degrees. All right. And so once again, we need an equation to set this up. How are we going to set this up? Okay, good. Little pink piece, 23x minus 3 plus the red angle, 12x plus 8 equals the whole thing, which is the whole 180 degrees. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah, I hope so. Because that would be great. We struggled so hard last year on this. I just don't know why. All right, so we go ahead and combine some like terms here. 23x's and 12x's is going to make 35x's. And then we have a negative 3 and a positive 8, which is 5. Positive 5 equals 180. And then what do we need to do? Minus 5. Do I need to show the minus 5, or can I go right to 35x equals 175? Is it okay to do that? Yeah? I feel like you guys are like on top of things, so that would be great. And then divide by 35. Okay, I'm going to show that one just so I can use my calculator here. 175 divided by 35 is 5. How about that? All right, so x equals 5. And then if I want to find DEG, that is my pink angle. What do I need to do to find DEG? Plug in. So I'm just going to go back to my picture, and I'm going to be like, hey, I'm going to just drop in the 5 there. And I can just use my calculator, ladies and gentlemen. This is what's nice. 23, plug in the 5, and subtract 3. I can do it all in one line, right on my calculator. So, you know, you don't have to write everything down. I know what you're doing from that point on. So 112 degrees. All right. GEF. GEF is our red angle. So what do we need to do? Plug in the 5 again. So I have 12, plug in a 5, add 8. 12, plug in the 5, add 8, and I get 68. All right, and what's DEF? 180. Did I have to, okay, does 112 plus 68 make sense? It does make sense. All right, they told us it was a straight angle in the beginning, but the individual angles also justify that. All right. It makes sense, which is a nice thing. Okay, let's see. Oh, let's look at number 8. Let's look at number 8. If the measure of angle ECD, that's this angle right here. I'm going to make that one red. ECD is 6 less than 5 times the measure of BC. Ooh, this is written out in words. Oh my gosh, we got to do some translating. And let's see what else they tell me. BCD is 162. BCD is the whole angle. The whole thing is 162 degrees. What information did they not give me? BCE. They didn't tell me what the measure of angle BCE is. And if I don't know what that measure is there something I could call it? F. We can't call it x. It's the unknown. It's the thing we don't know. So right off the bat here on this particular problem, the measure of angle BCE, we're going to call it x degrees. And now, if BCE is, we're going to call it x, then I can write something for the measure of angle ECD. So the measure of angle ECD is, what does is mean? Equals. Okay, so the measure of angle ECD equals 6 less than, very tricky word there, 6 less than 5 times, what's BCE? X. How do we write 5 times X? Yeah. So 5x, and then we can do the less than by 6, so minus 6. So that wording, less than, is very tricky. 6 less than means you have to be less than something. So something else has to come first. Does that make sense to you? All right, so that's why we put the minus 6 at the end, to be less than. 6 less than something. Okay, something has to come in front. All right, so now we know this would be 5x minus 6 degrees. So 5x minus 6 is that red angle. And our little baby BCE has x degrees. And now we can write an equation. What equation can we write? Excellent. 5x minus 6 plus x equals the whole 162 degrees. And again, I like to think about it in terms of what's the whole, because we always need to equal the whole angle. Okay, so really good there. 5x plus x is 6x minus 6 equals 162. And then what do we need to do? Add 6. We get 6x equals 168. And then divide by 6. So 168 divided by 6, 28. So x equals 28. You know, I do love that. So the person who wrote all these, her name is Gina Wilson. This is her stuff at the bottom. I love that her numbers are large enough that we all need to use a calculator, right? Like, this is not necessarily stuff I'm knowing myself, right? So everybody, you must have a calculator. Don't feel bad. This is how this works. All right, BCE. BCE is x degrees, which is 28 degrees. All right, and then ECD. ECD is in red. What do we need to do? Plug in the x value. So plug in that 28. And again, I'm just going to use my calculator. 5 times 28 minus 6, 134. Yeah. All right. So 134 degrees. All right. You guys, how are you doing so far? Good? All right, good. All right, I want to do one more, and I think just number 10, and we'll be done. How many minutes am I at here? 18? Hey, 20 minutes is like sweet spot, you know? All right. Okay, I had this crossed out for some reason, but is it like, does it have a strike through on yours? No, okay. Mine for some reason had a strike through. I don't know why. So I thought, anyway. All right, but this one is good because it has some good language in it. It says, if BD bisects, what does bisect mean? Through the middle, creating two congruent sections. Two congruent sections. Or in this case, angles. Two congruent angles. So let's look at our picture and mark up our picture real good here. It says BD bisects angle CBE. CBE is right here, and BD is bisecting it, creating two congruent angles. What are my two congruent angles? CBD is one congruent angle. And what's the other one? EBD, the other side, right here. So these two angles are congruent. I'm going to put little little congruent marks like that to show that those two angles are the same. So if CBD is 72 degrees, what's DBE? 72. If CBD is 54, what's DBE? 54. They are the same measure, okay? Let's see. We also know that BC, what's this symbol?
Parallel.
Nope. Perpendicular. 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 BC is perpendicular to segment BA. So again, I want to mark that on my picture. BC, that's this line right here. That little ray right there is perpendicular to BA right here. What should I put to indicate that those are perpendicular? Oh, well, not on the picture typically, but that's the interesting thought. So then what do you got?
On the square.
The little box in the corner. Yeah, that little rectangle box in the corner. That means that they're perpendicular. What does perpendicular mean? 90 degrees. So I just want to write that in there because I know that if that's perpendicular, it's also 90 degrees. All right, we got to do a lot of translating in our pictures here. Okay, let's see what else we know. It says the measure of angle CBD is 3x plus 25. So I can write that in. 3x plus 25 is the measure of that red angle there. And the measure of angle DBE is 7x minus 19. Oh, I guess I need to write that in there too. DBE is 7x minus 19 degrees. All right. And then our job is to find the measure of angle ABD. Let's see, ABD. ABD is this whole angle right here. So this is the blue angle that I'm trying to figure out. It would have been better to use a highlighter. Okay, so that's what I have to figure out, this whole angle. Eventually, we got to get there. All right, where do we start, ladies and gentlemen? What do we know for sure?
90 degrees.
Okay, we do know the 90 degrees for sure. Yeah, these red angles, they told us were bisected, which means they are the same measure. So because they're congruent, I know that 3x plus 25 has to be the same as 7x minus 19. They told me so. They told me they were congruent, and that's where congruence markings help. If I see that they're marked congruent, then they are equal to each other. Okay? So the congruent implies that they're equal to one another. All right? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 7x. That gives me a negative 4x. And I'm going to go ahead and subtract 25. 44. Negative 44. All right. And then I'm going to divide by negative 4. So x equals 11. All right. So I have x equals 11. And what do I need to do with that? Again, my goal is this blue angle.
Plug it in.
Yeah. Where am I going to plug it into? CBD. Yeah, right there. I'm going to plug that 11 in to 3x plus 25. So I get 3 times 11 plus 25 is 58. Great. So the measure of angle CBD equals 58 degrees. All right. So I know that this angle now, I'm going to make a big mark here, 58 degrees. All right. So how do we find the measure of angle ABD? We add them together. Sure, what are we adding?
90 degrees.
Yeah, very good. 90 plus 58. That 58. Very good. Because, and what do we get?
148.
148. Beautiful. All right, 148 degrees. Hey, did you get it? Does that sound okay? Seem okay? Excellent. Do you have any questions for me? What is the angle addition postulate? And it's most simple. Small plus small equals whole or big. Yeah, absolutely. Little piece plus little piece equals the whole thing. Super fabulous. All right. Well, it took